Alright, so before I get the gearbox put back into the lower, one thing with the Krytex that's great in design but horrible for the Aster is that there's these different holes that they have set up to, well, this is where the MOSFET used to be, but they have holes to where you could actually put some grease and also visually inspect it, which is great. However, especially this one that's right here, that one throws a gate Aster off all the time whenever light hits it. And it doesn't take a lot, believe it or not. It's a very little bit, and it would throw it off. So to keep that from happening, put some electrical tape over the gearbox. This is probably where the Gate Titan is a little bit more superior than the Aster in that aspect. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So just a little tidbit for those of you that have the Gate Asters installed on the Krytex. Other gearboxes, if they have these kind of holes, you're going to need to do the same thing. But nonetheless, I'm going to do this and probably just fast forward because you get the idea. So that's all set. We've got the tape on there. This is looking good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and start the assembly process for the lower. I got the Gate Aster recalibrated. Did that off screen. There's plenty of videos out there. But the trigger has been all set and the selector plate. With the max speed trigger as well, there's two set screws, one that goes up and one that goes to the rear. And the one in the rear I use to close that gap. So when I pull this trigger, there's a little bit of play. This can actually go much further back, but I set that to where in the Gate Aster there's a bunch of different settings, and I've got it to where when it fires around setting 15, and I've got the trigger to where it'll pull to around 20. So it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, and then I can recalibrate it if need be. So that is all set. What I want to do now is a functions check to make sure everything else is good before I put the rear on and go to the other. So we're good there. So we're good there. Now I've also upgraded the software to Expert to allow me to have it go safe, full auto, and semi instead of just the typical safe, semi, full auto. That way I can get to it right away when I'm on safe. So that's why you're going to see me click all the way to the back to check that. And that sounds good, except for the motor sounds like it's a little bit high maybe. It's not really, I don't know if it's liking this trigger or not. Because right now it doesn't seem like it's recognizing it at all. That's weird. Check the battery to make sure it's not getting really hot. It's not. Nothing is, so it's very possible, even though it recognized it, that it just does not like this trigger. That's why I want to check this now, and it fired for a bit. Now it's not doing anything, so I might have to take that out, or it might have had an error. So let's find out. All right, so I went ahead and took the max speed trigger out because the Gate Aster was having an issue with it apparently. So just to make sure I wasn't going totally crazy, I did put the original trigger that I had back into it, and I'm going to give it a test. Semi's good. So yeah. So for whatever reason, the Gate Aster, they work off of sensors, so it's quite possible that because this is a kind of a shiny surface, it was probably just throwing it off. So that stinks, but that's just the way that is, and whatever. So, but this is all set. I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble the rest of the lower. All right, so that's the lower. Now we'll work on the upper, which really is not much except for the barrel bucking and hop up. But there is one thing I do want to touch base on. Since the upgrade video, I had gotten rid of the flat hop and R hop patch, that whole setup. It just wasn't working very well with the Max. I was getting okay range, but nothing like I should have been getting. So I don't know if it was just the patch brand or how I installed it, but it just was not working very well. And I think I'm just not going to use those anymore. What I did get is the Maple Leaf bucking, and went with that, and it worked very well with this setup. So first with the Max model hop up again, I loved it. It was just flawless. It's a teeny bit dirty, but it's not too bad. I have since touched it up a little bit and cleaned it after a couple of the ops and whatnot. You really should clean it more often than not. It's not really going to do you that much harm by just breaking this down and quickly going through with Q-tips or actual like pads you get for cleaning real firearms. So that's not too bad. I'm going to bring this back down a little bit. And the bucking held up very well. I mean, I put tons of rounds through that. It pretty much was almost at the beginning. There is a little bit of dirt in here. It's not bad. I probably could just let it sit in some soap and water and let it soak overnight or something, or take more to it than just a Q-tip and really get it cleaned out. But it's not too bad. Or I could just put a brand new one in there. I do have one kicking around somewhere, but I feel like it's not too bad a shape. I could probably get away with it, at least for one more op. And the barrel, it is, again, a little bit dirty. I didn't clean it as much as I should have, I'll be honest. But again, this is just something you can take, either Q-tips or stuff you use for real steel, and just kind of come through here with that. I'll do that more off camera. It's kind of not necessary at the moment. But yeah, so a quick update. The piston was ultimate failure point. The bevel gear was on its way, but it didn't totally fail. And the R-hop flat hop was removed and replaced with just a maple leaf bucking and the stock nub that comes with the Max model. And of course the Max speed trigger is not compatible with the Gate Aster. Even though it registers it when you test it, when you actually shot fire, as we saw, it loses it very quickly. So that's the update of the LMG. Feel free to leave questions, comments in the section below, and I'll get back to you guys and girls with those responses as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.